Podcast. We are back.
Yes, yes.
Another week. So much going on in the world of sports, man. We've been off for a couple of weeks, man. I guess it's been 3 weeks. It feel like it's been a year, man. So much is taking place.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
I'm your host, Jason Flake. My co-host Lance Reynolds, man, aka the People's Champ.
What up, though?
Man, I want to start like I always do, man. Thanking the Everybody Has One family for another great week of engagement. 2 weeks, really, 3 weeks of engagement, man. It's been rousing, man. The Instagram it went crazy
Lord have mercy.
with the edge rusher clip, man. Got 150,000 views on that, nearly 7,000 shares, man. Tons of comments. I want to thank all of the former pros that jumped in the comments, man. We appreciate all of the feedback, all of the shorts, man. Got a bunch of comments, man. We got tens of thousands of views, maybe 100,000 views over the 3 week period. But man, so much took place in that time frame, man. So make sure y'all continue to like, share, and subscribe, man. That's Everybody Has the number one sports podcast on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One sports podcast everywhere else. That is Instagram, that's Facebook, that's Twitch, that is TikTok. Um, and the podcast will be available very shortly on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So y'all make sure y'all look for us there, man. Y'all can get that anytime on demand, man. Give us a listen, check us out. But without further ado, man, we
One
gonna
more, one more. Don't forget, we are live on Instagram right now. So we want to say welcome to the Instagram family out there.
Yes,
Hey, yo,
indeed.
what
Yeah,
up,
man.
though?
Yes, check us out, man. Make sure y'all comment, man. Make sure y'all jump into the comment section, man. Nephew will be checking that comment section, man, and responding. And remember, if y'all have topics that y'all want to hear us discuss, man, make sure y'all jump in one of those direct messengers and send us that information, or jump in the comment section right now, man, and we'll try to get those on for you. But without further ado, man, we gonna jump right into our topics, man, because there's so much to discuss, so little time. And we thank y'all for joining us yet again. The Lions, man. I know there's 3 games worth of activity to discuss. This past weekend, they did beat the Bears 19-16. Jared Goff threw for 331, one touchdown, one interception. St. Brown had a big game, capped the season. 11 receptions, 139 yards. Gibbs chipped in with 80 rushing yards and a TD reception. Overall, decent showing at the Bears. But unfortunately, the last 3 weeks did not shake out the way we wanted. They lost both the game to Pittsburgh as well as to the Vikings, finishing 1-2. How do we feel about the way the season finished? We happy? We indifferent? We disappointed? I probably know the answer to that, man.
Yeah.
Let's say the People's Champ.
Well, buddy, Happy New Year to you. I think disappointment, again, I think we said earlier in the season, or at least I did, Lions fans, we torture ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll speak for myself. I did a lot of mental gymnastics, these last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, just saw what was coming, and it finally hit us.
Yep.
All the things that that kind of was in the back of my head that would give me pause or make me nervous, on the outlook of the season at the beginning of the season, the absence of, or the departure, I should say, of Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, and all of the pieces that we lost on the O-line.
Yeah.
It just all kind of came to a head, and it started to become consecutive.
Yeah.
And it just got bad. I mean, but it's extremely disappointing, man. Because when you look at the numbers,
Yeah.
a lot of them, they may look good on his face, but like when you do a little digging, when you look at the EPAs on dropbacks and on third downs, like we fell off a cliff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So they say the devil's in the details.
Always.
And I think with this team, that was very much so the case. When you look at losing Kevin Zeitler to Tennessee, where we, probably could have kept him for relatively cheap.
Don't get
Ragnow,
me started.
Ragnow retiring days before camp starts.
Yep.
Taylor Decker probably should have followed him out the door in retirement before, suiting up this season. God bless him for trying. But I mean, at the end of the day, it proved to be, maybe not the best decision for us. And I think now we just have to just go ahead and just start Penei Sewell going forward at left tackle and just kind of leave that alone.
I think that's in the cards.
Dan Skipper as well. I believe he was contemplating retirement. We actually cut him, had to bring him back.
Yep.
And it just kind of it just snowballed, from that point on. Christian Mahogany goes down with a broken fibula.
He actually came back, surprisingly.
But with the time that he lost, the lack of continuity. Then you factor in how we don't play starters in the preseason. So there's that. Then you lose Laporta. And it just all kind of trickled down from Goff no longer being comfortable, being more so of a platform thrower. The running game as the season progressed. I think Jameer had 4 weeks in a row where he didn't have 50 yards rushing. He was right at around 38 and some change.
Yep.
Montgomery, there's rumblings he's disenchanted now with his role. The details.
Yep.
Though cosmetically maybe on the front end the numbers were there, but if you look and read in between the lines on offense, it was definitely there with Ben Johnson. And then on the defensive side of the ball, starting out, Kelvin Shepherd showed promise. But I think as the season progressed, you saw the difference in whereas Aaron Glenn was a defensive coordinator en route of becoming a head coach.
Yeah.
Whereas Kelvin Shepherd is now getting his first chance to sharpen his teeth.
Absolutely.
As a defensive coordinator. And it showed. And it's not to discredit him. I believe he will get better, especially when he has the available bodies that, he was expecting to have. But I think that's where, again, the details came into play. I think last season, as the injuries mounted up for us on defense, Aaron Glenn was able to adjust and find where we could still be competitive with the players that we had. Whereas as the injuries mounted up for us this season, Calvin Shepherd struggled, as this, and the defense as a whole, struggled as the season went on.
I appreciate you being so gracious to Aaron Glenn. The defense sucked last year too.
I mean,
the offense was just better, and the O-line stayed intact. Aaron Glenn, his scheme was awful, and it is awful.
But you didn't think late in the season last year where it was some games where, well, honestly, I thought there might have been some games last year where I didn't think we would be in, especially defensively, where I think Aaron Glenn schemed up some games that were.
So let me say, I will say the Vikings game, the last game of the year, I thought that was a decent defensive game. Also, I thought the Jacksonville game was decent, but the San Francisco game was a shootout. That was one late in the year. We just won a lot of shootouts. I felt like,
Yeah, and that's another thing too. We won a lot of close games last year. I think we were 7-2.
Yeah, in one score games.
Yeah. And I think this year we were 2 and last year we were
we lost
2 and 5.
Yeah, we lost 2 games by a total of 10 points. I mean, that was, so history tells you that winning a lot of close games is unsustainable. Like if you, because Kansas City did the same thing. They won a bunch of one-score games last year, and that sort of backfired this year. So, typically that's an unsustainable formula. But no, all real excellent analysis. I have very little to add to that because you're right. I mean, I thought Kelvin Shepherd, he showed his inexperience late in the year. I think that's probably the best way to put it. He's young, and when those injuries start to mount, it's just hard. It's hard to do it. defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators too, to a great extent, are very, everybody's player dependent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like defensive coordinators look good when the players are good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect to Buddy Ryan. I mean, but a slow adult could have coordinated the 85 Bears and looked like a genius. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look like a genius when you coordinating great players. So and in terms of the last 3 games, I have very little to add. One game was an offensive letdown. The other one was a defensive letdown. Gave up back-to-back 45-yard rushing touchdowns against Pittsburgh man, why am I drawing a blank on the running back's name? But we gave up back-to-back, not Gainwell, but the other one. And
Jalen Warren.
Yeah, Jalen Warren. Thank you. And then Max Brosmer, he had 100 yards passing, and we still lost that game to Minnesota. So again, like what I said before, and I'll stand by it. If you don't beat those teams, then you're not a playoff team, and we're not. You got to win those games. You got to find a way to get those games. I am pleased that we ended the season on a winning note, beating the Bears. Because I've always said that we just a bad matchup for the Bears.
Yeah.
We, the Bears, their defense depends on turnovers. They don't really get stops. I've said that all year, but they got like 32 or 33 turnovers, and that's how they get stops. If you don't turn the ball over, they're not going to stop you. That's why I feel like, they are one and done, and we'll get to our playoff predictions in a little bit, but and basically if we didn't turn the ball over the one time we did, we'd have beat them by multiple scores instead of just having to kick the game-winning field goal. But yeah, so, in terms of, the way the season ended, obviously I like you, am disappointed. But I want to dispel a narrative, man.
Okay.
Before we move on to our offseason preview, because there's a narrative that says that pocket passers, and in our town, Jared Goff, they need everything to be perfect in order to thrive. But the 3 most successful mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, they all got top 5 running backs with respect to productivity. They all have highly effective tight ends. Jackson and Allen both have 2 highly productive tight ends, and Likely and Andrews for Jackson, Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid for Allen, and then Hurts has Goddard, who's probably a top 5 tight end. Saquon and Derrick Henry were both added in free agency. All have exceptional offensive tackles. Overall, their respective GMs are busy adding pieces every offseason.
Yeah.
Conversely, pocket passers are expected to get what they can get, through the draft. You look at Matt Stafford, for example. His best receiver is a 5th-round draft pick. His best tight end, Tyler Higbee's a 4th-round draft pick. Jared Goff, our number 1 receiver, is a 4th-round draft pick.
Yep.
And we're not busy in free agency looking for offensive pieces. Typically, J-Mo's a 1st-round pick, so is Jahmyr Gibbs, and Sam Laporta's a 2nd-round pick. We do have weapons. I'm not trying to say that we don't have weapons, but typically GMs are not busy adding for pocket passers. I mean, look at a Sam Darnold, for example. They got Jackson Smith and Jigba, and who else in Seattle? Who's their 2nd-best pass catcher? The kid that they got at the trade deadline, probably
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a running back, Barner. Pocket passers are expected to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
They not expected to have a wealth of weapons around them. It's really the running quarterbacks who have to have everything perfect. That's why most running quarterbacks never won anything, and the one true running quarterback who ever won something was Jalen Hurts, and that's probably the most complete roster that we've seen in 25 years.
Yeah.
That Philadelphia Eagles team. I mean, you could go through the solid linebackers, 2 dominant defensive tackles, Hassan Reddick, who was the best, available edge rusher to rent, Cooper DeJean, an all-rookie safety, Quinjon Mitchell, who was a great young cornerback. Had Darius Slay on the other side. They had a top 3 offensive line, the best running back in football, a true number 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the most complete roster in football. That's what you needed for a true running quarterback to win.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Like running quarterback.
That's it. Jalen Hurts the first. He's definitely the first true running quarterback to win. Because Patrick Mahomes is not a true running quarterback.
No.
He's never. This is the first. This is the most rushing yards he's ever had this year, and it was 422. And I think it's noteworthy that he tore his ACL.
Huh?
He's not really
the
a
year
runner.
the year what he led his team in rushing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had 422 yards rushing. Again, I think it's noteworthy that he tore his ACL.
Well,
so I think that's mythology. The mythology is that, and by the way, this year, Goff has had a carousel of different offensive lines.
I'm about to say that's what he needs. He just needs a clean pocket.
But this year, second in the league in passing yards, second in passing touchdowns. He had 34 passing touchdowns. He had against 8 interceptions, had over 4,500 yards passing again. Everything wasn't perfect.
Right.
Not nearly. Lost his number 1 tight end.
You're saying that Jared Goff can probably actually play quarterback a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He might be one of the best quarterbacks in football.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Neff.
So you have came on here all season and have preached about the rule of 5.
Mm-hmm.
About how all quarterback coach combos have won the Super Bowl in their first 5 seasons.
I was actually going there. Go ahead.
Next year, Jared Goff's contract extension kicks in, so you really won't have a potential out for him until after the 2027 season. So my question to you is, what's the next move? If the Super Bowl is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, so you know what, that's actually my next conversation was you're going to have to get into one camp or the other. You're going to have to either be in the Dan Campbell camp or the Jared Goff camp.
Yep.
I'm willing to give this coach quarterback combo one more season to defy 50 years of NFL history. Because next year, that's what they're going to have to do. And I'm starting to believe more and more in that statistic because, you know, spoiler alert, I'm picking Buffalo to lose this weekend. And after that happens, that rule will hold for this year too, because that's the only coach quarterback combination that's older than 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw, you know, again, spoiler alert, John Harbaugh was terminated.
Yep.
And him and Lamar were in year 8. So Lamar's going to have a new head coach to start that, you know, that rule of 5 is going to start fresh for him. But everybody else is under 5 years. That's in the playoffs now.
How many years your boy got?
Who that?
In L.A.?
Stafford.
Herbert.
Oh, Herbert. Well, you know, this is just the second year for him and Harbaugh.
Oh, so they got 3 more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just their second year. Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. This is just their first year together. Yeah. And by the way, Jacksonville is hot.
And that's and it's Drake, May, and Vrabel's first year together.
That's right. Yep. Same with Caleb and Ben Johnson. Yep. And then this is year 5 for Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, even though this is, I think, Jordan Love's 3rd year as the starter, but this is actually technically year 5 for them. This is year 5 for Brock Purdy and Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yep. But Kyle Shanahan is he changed quarterbacks on.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan. he don't care.
He don't care. Kyle Shanahan.
That's just the culture there. They're like, look, they're like kind of almost like Miami Heat-esque.
Yeah,
you know
they move on.
Yeah, they have like a type.
Yeah.
Like you're either a 49er type guy for position or you're not.
Yep.
And they find a way and they have a way of identifying those type guys.
Yep. But yeah, just to put a cap on that, yeah, Jared Goff, he ended the season 4,564 yards, 34 touchdowns against 8 interceptions. That's the second best touchdown to interception ratio behind Stafford, who threw 46 and 8. And he finished 3rd in quarterback rating. So, yep. I mean, still had another outstanding year statistically. I think we had the third best offense, over 28 points a game. Um, so let's move on to the offseason expectations.
Okay.
Because I'm very definitive in what I would like to see. John Morton was obviously fired earlier this week.
John Morton was fired in like week, what was that, 7?
Right, they let him collect his paycheck.
Yeah.
But
Slow cooking.
I would like a new offensive coordinator, preferably somebody off the Sean McVay tree.
Okay.
But I saw that Cliff Kingsbury and the Washington Commanders have parted ways. His name has come up. And I also heard another name that the Lions are going to interview, David Blau. Yeah, I'm not excited about that whatsoever. Let me just say that right now. He's a former Lions backup quarterback.
I'm about to say, is that part of the reason?
Yes, and he's the current Washington Commanders quarterback coach. But no, I'm not excited about David Blau. But what say you, man? What do you say, or what would you like in terms of the offensive coordinator?
I think that Dan Campbell, I guess we're getting to the point where we can say we know him now from a fan perspective. I think he's more of maybe a Phil Jackson type.
Yes, he's a culture builder. He's not an either side of the ball kind of guy.
Not to say he's inept. You get what I'm saying? He's 100% a football guy.
Yes.
But again, to your point, I think he's the culture setter, and I think he needs to find his Tex Winter and his Jim Clemens.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just like his three-headed monster. He's got to find his Eric Bieniemy. The name that's intriguing to me that is Mike McDaniel.
Yeah. Well, they said that they keeping him in Miami.
Are they gonna keep him in Miami?
They said that he's safe. His job is safe, and they even talking about running it back with Tua.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but
if we don't go there,
to your point about let me piggyback on your point about Dan Campbell, and then I'll let you finish. Because I think you make a good observation about him being a culture guy and somebody, because I definitely think that Kelvin Shepard suffered when he started calling plays, because I think that Dan Campbell then was not able to assist Shepard on the defensive side of the ball, which is not good for a first-year D coordinator. He needed to be able to bifurcate his attention to both sides of the ball, and he wasn't able to do that when he took over play calling. He was strictly into the offensive game plan, and the offense was improved with him statistically, it was improved with him as the play caller, but the defense obviously took a giant step backward.
Yep.
So, but no, man, finish your point about the offensive coordinator.
So if McDaniel's off the table, maybe Brian Callahan.
Yeah, I like that. I like Brian Callahan. I like that, because he got fired from the Titans.
And again, I mean, that was a doomed ship.
Yeah, man.
Anyway. And, just find that guy that he can develop that brain trust with, and and that guy also buy into the culture that Campbell set. And Kingsbury, I mean, he's creative, and I mean, we've got the skill pieces and the toys that he could definitely cut loose with.
Yeah, I mean, so here's my thing. Because I agree. I mean, I want the best possible offensive coordinator, but I do vacillate between that and wanting someone who, because Cliff Kingsbury, while I definitely would interview him, he's angling for a head coaching job.
The next hot job, he's gone.
And he would be likely to take this job because I think that this is his best opportunity. because we have the potential to be a number one offense. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
We have the weaponry to be a number one offense. Once we fortify the offensive line, I mean, Jared Goff, like behind this offensive line, he threw for 4,564 yards, 34 touchdowns against 8 interceptions. He's going to be productive.
Yep.
And it'll be more productive behind a more fortified front, which we will have next year. I believe that they will make that a point of emphasis in the offseason. So, David Blau, I'm cool. I'm cool on that. That seems like a regression to the mean. Them not wanting to necessarily take any chances and take any swings on somebody who is unfamiliar. Like we keep going for these familiar faces. I'm like, no. We got to go outside. Like the better, because Ben Johnson, I believe in Ben Johnson. And there's a rule in business that the better the individual are that you are replacing, the broader the search needs to be. You can't just be like, yeah, we're just going to promote somebody from within. No, Ben Johnson has proven that he was a pretty excellent candidate. And so you have to broaden the search.
We got more each bite per play.
Yes.
With Ben Johnson.
Absolutely.
It just we saw it.
Yeah.
You seen it in Chicago.
Yeah.
So that's tough because that's the culture now with coaching. It's like, how do you find, I guess a quote unquote football lifer that just, loves calling offense. You know what I mean? That's just like the appeal of being a head coach isn't sexy to them. Like, no, man, I just, I want to make a nice amount of money just calling offense and winning games. It's those guys are kind of hard to find because that part of the game is getting younger.
Yeah, that is. Yep, I agree. And offensive coaches are in vogue. So
because you said it's Sean McVay tree, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Is Sean McVay 40?
No.
You get what I'm saying? But he has a coaching tree.
He does. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Liam Cohen.
Right. So it's like, how do you like pluck from that and say, okay, can we get 3 to 4 years out of this guy?
Bluetooth error.
I don't know what that was. Y'all ignore that, family.
But
I got a quick. I know that cut you off. I got a quick wish list of things that I want for the Lions.
Okay.
While I don't want to necessarily see Kelvin Shepherd blown out, I would like to see maybe some help, some consultation on the defensive side of the ball. I also want to see discussions reopen with Frank Ragnow to maybe get him healthy and out of retirement. Kevin Zeitler, you brought him up before. He was only on a 1-year deal in Tennessee. See if he's open to returning. And the draft priorities, I'd like to see defensive line, offensive tackle, because like you said, I think Taylor Decker is done. And even though we're going to move Penei Sewell over to left, I think that'll create a need over at the right tackle. And obviously defensive back. I think we need an upgrade at defensive back. And then in free agency, and additionally, an interior offensive line. If Kevin Zeitler is not available, and maybe another edge rusher and some linebacker depth. And logistically, we need less physical camps and practices.
Yeah,
we keep bringing that up. We need to scrap the inter-squad practices with other teams. And if injuries and game management are a problem next season, we need to take a serious look at Dan Campbell's future as the Detroit Lions head coach, because time is of the essence. As Nephew brought up, the 5-year coach quarterback combination question, I'm starting to really believe in that more and more. And really the time is up for Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, unless we're going to defy 5 decades of NFL history. But what say the people's champ, man? What's on your wish list for this offseason, man?
Well, that's why we work well together. I mean, I share a lot of your same sentiments. I just think that we'll probably have to spend money in the secondary.
Yes.
As opposed to maybe drafting secondary help. I mean, we can draft secondary help, but I think the most impactful secondary help will probably come via the wallet.
Whatever.
Just for the simple fact that we probably won't have Branch next season.
Yep.
We don't know what we're getting with Kirby Joseph
Yeah,
when he
I
comes
hope.
back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hope Kirby is himself. But yeah, you're right.
And then I don't want to see DJ Reed.
Maybe at slot corner, but you're right.
I'm okay.
Right.
We can. I'm sure we can do better. God
But
bless
I mean,
him. But I don't.
He got a 3-year deal.
Well, we can do something.
And we paid him. Damn. So yeah, no, I mean he's coming back. You're gonna have to see him again at least one more year.
All right, DJ.
Yeah, like we gave him a contract.
Well, he'll have to play the slot, but that's what I'm.
Yeah.
But then you got Terry on.
Yeah, I mean, but at least he on a rookie deal. If you want to cut your losses with him, like that's not going to be. I don't think they're going to give up on Terry and Arnold.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like I think we have to pay for the secondary help. I think
the Fords got more money than the U.S. Mint. Pay. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna have to crack open the wallet. I don't care if we have to pay. I want a Super Bowl.
In terms of Frankie, I hear that he's like not interested in coming back.
Well, I mean that could be,
or maybe they just, like you say, they just
I would like to listen.
How many zeros is a real no? How many zeros is in that no?
I would like to explore it. Yeah, you might be right. It might not be on the table, but I would definitely like to explore the conversation. He seemed amenable to it. I think the Lions called him and he, and said, look, let's see if we can get something done for you. Pay him above fair market value, whatever you got to do. Put some money in his pocket, give him a big bonus. Man, listen, I don't know. Give him a big bonus that don't count against the cap. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? To give him a car. Whatever, man.
So yeah, I think Goff, you think they'll restructure that 70 million guaranteed he's got coming next season?
I think that he would be up for it, turn some of it into a bonus. That's the new thing that people are doing.
Just push it, just add 2 more years on a void.
Yeah, turn some of it into a bonus and drop the cap hit or whatever. But yes, I mean, there's things that we can do in order to restructure and get the roster pieces that we need in order to be back in contention.
Yeah.
And
we may have to draft another tight end. Because, I mean, back injuries scare me in any sport.
I agree.
So, I mean, I'm hoping.
There's nothing you can do for a back either. But, but being young is a superpower.
Yeah, so. I'm hoping, we hoping Sam Laporta comes back. But then again, there's that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and we're already going to be writing off Anzarike and Pascal, like guys that we drafted. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't worried about them anyway.
So we just can't have any repeats of that.
Yeah, we need upgrades there. So at any rate, man, we'll be watching the Lions. I'm sure we'll be talking more about that as the draft approaches.
Yeah.
Man, let's talk about week 18, man. Particularly, I want to get into the John Harbaugh firing, which everybody is discussing now. He was fired after 18 years with the Ravens. Just to add a little subtext, an article was published in the Baltimore Sun about a rift between Lamar and John Harbaugh. It talked about Lamar falling asleep in meetings.
Oh, wow.
And having some poor offseason habits that may have contributed to his injury situation. And there was some speculation that John Harbaugh himself may have been the source of the article in a preemptive attempt to possibly save his job.
Oh, wow.
So let me ask you directly, man, was the firing of John Harbaugh the correct decision, yay or nay? What say the people's champ?
I think it's too early to say. I think you can justify it when you just look at the results.
Yeah.
Of the last couple of seasons. I mean, you're in the process of wasting the prime of probably the most dynamic quarterback we've seen, since Vic?
Yeah. Particularly with his legs.
And even with that, he's managed to make himself into a formidable passing quarterback as well. I mean, is he Patrick Mahomes? No, but you know.
Highest quarterback rating in the history of the NFL.
Right, So I think it's just too early to say if it was the right move. I think the move made sense.
It ain't too early for me.
You know, I think it made sense.
It was definitely the right decision, in my opinion. He kept Todd Monken in his employ since 2023. I've made no bones about the fact that I think Todd Monken is a bad play caller. In my opinion, he cost the Ravens the AFC Championship game 2 years ago.
Okay.
And again, this past week, he forgot he had Derrick Henry on the field in the second half. Derrick Henry in the first half had 15 carries for 112 yards.
But doesn't Derrick Henry's late game fumbles make you want to forget him in certain situations and games?
No, not me.
Okay. I mean, it's
not outside, not in the cold, not late in the season. Second half, he had 5 carries for 14 yards. At the time, and at times they've used 3 running backs. And let me get on my soapbox about using 3 running backs. Having 3 running backs and using 3 running backs is like having 2 quarterbacks. You know the old saying, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Only bad team. You know, when I saw Tampa Bay using 3 running backs, I said they're going to miss the playoffs. That's when the offense starts. But, you know, their offense was cooking the first half of the year. But
Baker with MVP candidate.
When Bucky Irving got hurt, they started using Tucker. And when Bucky Irving came back, they kept using Tucker, and they were using 3 running backs. All the good teams used 2. The Seattle Seahawks got Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Ironically, a Michigan State and Michigan guy.
Yeah. Drives me nuts every time.
The Rams used Kyron Williams and Blake Coral. The Lions, our Lions, they use Gibbs and Montgomery.
For now.
Yeah, I know. That's another conversation. But even the Pittsburgh Steelers, we brought them up earlier. They use Jalen Warren and Gainwell. Good teams use 2. 3 is a crowd in the running back field. So I think that's a sign of a bad offense when you got 3. But at any rate, Todd Monken has been a bad offensive coordinator, and I understand loyalty, but he stayed loyal to him too long. Also, losing a lot of close games in heartbreaking fashion means something. And John Harbaugh, going back to 2016, second to last game of the season, they playing the Steelers for the division. Antonio Brown stretches backwards at the 1-yard line, scores the game-winning touchdown. They missed the playoffs. That was with 10 seconds left. In 2017, Andy Dalton, they had him backed up in his own territory on 4th and 12. He converted. They went on to score. Ravens missed the playoffs. 2019, Lamar Jackson, unanimous MVP. They got bodied by Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. 2020, 99-yard pick 6 in the playoffs to lose to the Bills. 2022, 99-yard fumble return in the playoffs to lose. 2023, Zay Flowers extends, fumbles at the goal line. 2024, Mark Andrews drops the ball. Now, one of those, maybe 2, that's just football. All of those, it's time to say goodbye. Sometimes the juju is just funky.
Yeah, I mean,
you know
and I get it. I mean, and everything.
And I'm not saying
downhill.
I'm not saying that John Harbaugh is a bad coach because those things happen. Sometimes the juju is just funky.
And the evidence that you laid out is why I say, it makes sense. But like I said, I don't think for me, I can say it's the right move until I see who the replacement is, who they hire. Because they can hire a buffoon.
That. Yeah, right. Well, that's true.
And this could be followed up with 4 losing seasons in a row.
Yeah.
And then what you got, or they get someone that they may feel may placate to Lamar, and that may prove to not be the best move, and then you got a shit show.
Well, that's true. But I think that when you consider the underlying issue,
again, I hate defending John
Harbaugh with Lamar, and then by all accounts, the management, the players, fans, they all side with Lamar. You know, like there would be a mutiny if you got rid of him.
Right. Oh, no. That's not what I'm suggesting.
There was some rumblings about a trade to Minnesota.
No, that's crazy.
Because, again, this is all speculative, but there was some rumblings that he was disenchanted with Harbaugh and that he didn't want to play for him anymore. So I think that, you know, all in all, I think it was the right decision. But you're right. I mean, who they replace John Harbaugh with certainly makes a difference. I mean, you know, you can't just replace him with anybody. But I think that I just think that the juju just got funky
I feel you
in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes sometimes every split, sometimes splits are amicable. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just time to separate. 18 years is a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long tenure for an NFL head coach.
Yeah.
Second longest tenured head coach other than Mike Tomlin.
Right. Who probably would have got fired if they would have lost.
Correct. And the juju there is getting a little funky. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the juju just gets funky in the room.
If you want to call what they doing over there, juju, man. Oh,
Right.
Lord.
I know, man. And you know what? I owe Aaron Rodgers an apology, man. I did not think that they would end up making the playoffs. But he's actually played.
Nor did I.
Yes, he's actually played much better than I expected. And so I had to give a shout out to him, man.
And I have to apologize to one Tyrone.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ty, man.
Oh, God. The Steelers are going to the playoffs.
So y'all want to talk about some of y'all predictions from earlier in the season?
Not really. But go ahead.
Before we go into the get into the wild card round.
Yeah, go ahead.
So out of all the divisions, the only one y'all really got right was the NFC East.
Yes. Yep. That was
y'all
Philly.
both picked the Eagles, and y'all both had the Giants to finish last.
Yep.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Enough,
Thank you.
Yep.
Y'all said it would be close on how far back the Giants will be. They were only a game behind, but that's probably part because Jalen Daniels got hurt.
Yeah.
I would say the NFC West, I mean, y'all weren't too far off. I was just kind of dismissive about Seattle.
Yeah, I definitely was with Sam Darnold. He shut me up a lot this season.
Yeah.
The two bad games he had was both against the Rams. Outside of that,
but that defense is monstrous. I did not see that defense being as monstrous as it is.
And then with the NFC South, y'all wasn't really too far off because it's the NFC South. Y'all both had Tampa Bay winning.
Yep.
And we probably had Carolina last.
Yep. Well, no, not actually. Y'all both had New Orleans last. But y'all both had Atlanta making some noise, which they did the last month for the season. Yep. But y'all said it would be Michael Penix Jr. and it was good old Kirk Cousins. And then also, I think y'all kind of owe an apology to Tyler Show.
Hey, man. Yeah, we clown Tyler Show.
I absolutely did.
He actually looked very serviceable. I was thinking about that, too. I'm like, man, look at Tyler Show.
He was stacking weeks.
I'm like, right. He
started stacking weeks.
And then, with no Alvin Kamara. Go ahead, Nev.
And then real quick, I mean, we know how we did about the North. And just real quick through the AFC, of course, Lance, you had the Bengals. You had the Ravens.
Yep, I did.
You was kind of believing in Cincinnati's defense, but they in fact was giving up 30 pieces.
Yeah, right.
Pretty regularly.
That's what I said. I'm like, I can't believe.
I thought they was gonna have Joe Burrow at least dropping 40 though.
I mean, he got hurt though, so
again,
I give you a mulligan on that one, bro.
On the South, y'all both picked the Texans, which was looking bad for a
minute.
First
3 weeks,
it was looking bad for a minute.
Yeah.
And then, but you did mention Jacksonville as a team to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
So I give you some credit for that. The AFC East, y'all both had the Bills. I can't blame y'all for that. But
I mean, with New England.
But y'all kind of thought this would be a figure it out year for New England, and then New England just magically
exploded.
They became one of the better teams in the league. And then the AFC West. Last but not least, y'all both picked the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs. But for some reason, you were high on the Raiders.
Who? Me?
Yes.
Was I? Oh,
Lord. You had come into the season. You had said, I like what the Raiders were doing, and then they did that. But we got a couple of chats in the IG. Ty in the IG chat said Tomlin needs to go ASAP.
You want Tomlin to go?
I mean, yes. Like, listen, the juju gets funky in the room sometime, man.
I get it.
20 years, bro. That's a long time.
But usually you would think if they do that, they are like grooming someone. Can we say grooming on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
It's like, the successor for that, like back, like that old San Francisco type of deal or something like that. I don't know if they have anyone that would be,
man, Mike Tomlin ain't letting nobody get groomed under him.
And then there was a little bit of agreement with your take that that the juju was just off in the building in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's funky. It's funky. Like it's been funky for about 10 years. So yeah, I'm just like, I don't think Harbaugh is a bad coach. I think he'll get another job.
Oh yeah. I think if they just said he got 7 calls.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get another job quickly, because he's still one of the better coaches.
Where do you think, real quick, is a good fit for him?
I'm partial to places where they don't need a quarterback. So
he will be the New York Giants coach in the next week, I say.
Oh, you think that's how you feel?
That's how I feel.
To me, other than the Ravens, obviously he's not going back there. I think the best job available is Atlanta. I think Atlanta's the best job available. I like the pieces that they have. I believe they had a rookie that had 9.5 sacks. They got Bijan Robinson, who, is arguably the most explosive.
He's a bad man. Now let's not get.
That's what I said.
Up.
I'm like, that's why the debate got to stay open.
He's a bad dude.
Gibbs is the most explosive. I think that Bijan might be the better all around, but that's going to be a conversation for the next decade.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I still think Sonic's better.
Yeah, no, I listen. For my money, nobody's more explosive than Gibbs. Like ball,
but Bijan Robinson,
Bijan a bad man. But I'm like, if you just telling me one cut, open field, I'm taking Gibbs for that.
I feel you.
But like just that workhorse, because Bijan beat the Rams by himself. Like if you saw that,
game, that was crazy.
Like Kurt wouldn't throw the ball to nobody else. All he was doing was handing it off to Bijan and throwing it to Bijan.
So you say Atlanta?
Yeah, I think that's
with Kirk Cousins.
No, with Michael Penix.
With Michael Penix.
Yeah, you gotta get Michael Penix back healthy, but I think that's the best. They got a number 1 receiver. They, in Drake London, a true number 1.
Yeah, Drake's nice.
They got what's the corner? Is it AJ Terrell? I can't think. They got a good number 1 corner. They got a good edge. The young kid. I can't think of his name, but he just had like 9.5, 10 sacks. Yeah, I like. They got a Pro Bowl interior offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? Like they need some pieces, but I think that's probably the best available job because the available jobs other than the Ravens, Arizona Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons, Tennessee Titans, New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, and Cleveland Browns. Now, the Giants' job is a close second, but like Nephew said, I like Jackson Dart. I'm high on Jackson Dart. They have a number 1 receiver in Malik Neighbors. They got Cam Scatterboo, real good running back. They got Andrew Thomas, the left tackle. They have Amir Abdullah, and they got Sexy Dexy Lawrence. Pause calling the man Sexy Dexy, but they got Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, they got
interior defensive tackle. I think they need some help in the back end. Pause. They need probably need a linebacker. An upgrade at tight end, even though they had some guys come on at that position. But I like what the Giants have. I just think
they do have athletes and a lot of skill.
Yeah, they do.
Your point, they do. They need it, like to your point. They maybe need just a little glue.
Yeah, right. They need some positions. They won 2 games, so they they ain't all the way there, or did they win 3? Something like that. They didn't win many games, but they need, they need some help in some places. But I like the Giants' job too. But I think Atlanta is probably the best available.
Just for the record, I just want to state Atlanta was second in the league in sacks this year with 57.
Yep, that's what they got a good pass rush. Like they got some stuff I like in Atlanta. So I would think that would be the better job. And plus the NFC South is going to be winnable. You know what I'm saying? Like that's going to be a winnable division. I think that the NFC East, despite it being down this year, that's a tough division. That's going to be a hard division. Philly ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels, if he can stay upright, is going to be.
But the South. Talk about defenses. That Carolina defense is.
Listen, I like Carolina's defensive backfield. I think that their defensive backfield is highly underrated. And I think that that's one of the reasons that they've been, you know, in the mix all year. Like they offense, it sputters, you know, like it can be here and there. That defensive backfield, it's hard to pass the ball on them. That's why I'm like, you know, the Rams are favored by 10 this weekend. And while I expect the Rams to win, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna be able to just go up and down the field on Carolina secondary.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, they defend and they just beat. That's why they beat the Rams a couple weeks ago, because it's hard to throw the ball on them. Now they're gonna have Devontae Adams back, and that's gonna bring a different element.
I was just thinking about that, and then you know the nephew's point about Tyler Schlow. I mean, the NFC South could just be a division as a whole to keep an eye on, you know, going forward.
Absolutely. You know what? I want to get to one more coach firing before we move on, and then I want to talk about Michigan hired the new head coach. Man, I want to get y'all's opinion on that, and then I want to touch on the Pistons and the CFP. Man, so it's a lot to get to, man, in just a little bit of time.
We kind of saw this coming though.
Yeah.
After when we said we was taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah. Kevin Stefanski, man. After 5 years, the Cleveland Browns parted ways with Kevin Stefanski. You know, man, I kind of avoid the national shows, man, because there's a lot of narratives that are painted about him, man. But let me ask the people's champ, man, is Kevin Stefanski a viable coaching candidate, in your opinion, for other places? And then I'm going to dispel a couple of narratives about him that I keep hearing that are driving me insane.
Yeah, I mean, he's perfect for like the Arizona Cardinals, like habitual losers. He'll be perfect. It'll be like some, you know, sexy losing.
You know, man, so here's a couple of things that I keep hearing. The Deshaun Watson contract destabilized the Browns quarterback situation, and that was beyond Stefanski's control. I just don't really buy that. So it's a couple of things. He could have endorsed Baker Mayfield and expressed to management that he was happy with the early success that they experienced. He could have said, no, this is my guy. We lost to the eventual Super Bowl champs at their place by 1 score.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to keep Baker. We don't need to go out looking for, we don't need to create a need for a quarterback by trading him for basically nothing. Another thing he could have done is express concern about Deshaun Watson's personal issues. Now, wherever you come down on Deshaun Watson's personal issues, whether you think that, you know, he did anything untoward or not, those were going to create a distraction as soon as he came in the room, number one. Number two, you knew that the NFL was going to issue disciplinary action. There was no way he was not going to miss time as a Cleveland Brown. Absolutely none. And he did. So I don't buy that situation was just foisted upon him. And the second one, because I'm not going to spend too much time on Kevin Stefanski, but the fact that he's had 13 quarterbacks start for him is largely an organizational issue and not a result of his own poor roster management. Let's just use this season. He chose to start camp with 4 different quarterbacks. That was his decision. He chose to start a 41-year-old who most people knew wouldn't be likely to finish the season. 4 games in, Joe Flacco was traded. And remember, Mike Tomlin came to the podium and blamed Kevin Stefanski for that. He didn't blame the Cleveland Browns organization, and he didn't blame Andrew Berry. And he chose to play a backup who, in hindsight, was the less talented option. He chose to bring Bailey Zappi up from the practice squad onto the active roster, which still to this day is a mystery to me.
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns playing 3 quarterbacks this season is because of one man and one man only. And that's Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
He likes the quarterback carousel. He liked to have a bunch of different quarterbacks at his disposal. He likes to have all of these quarterbacks, and he liked to be and by the way, don't know what he's doing. And if I was interviewing Kevin Stefanski, I'm asking 2 questions. How come Baker Mayfield got better when he left? How come Deshaun Watson got worse when he came? And I want to know what you got to say to that, because those are real questions. And if he gets offended by him, I'd ask him to leave my office. Those are questions I want answers to. The Michigan coaching hire, man. Whittingham, how you feel about it?
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's over.
I like the hires, by the way.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it. A lot of people like kind of had, I guess, like some sticker shock where they was like, because I guess, you know, they
The contract price.
the contract price and the fact that he wasn't quote unquote like a Michigan guy.
Man, Michigan got
But
all
I mean,
kinds of
but
money.
if you look at, you know, at his style and the way that he likes to put rosters together, I mean, it's gonna look a lot like, you know, Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna run the football. Like, we are going to blow people off of the line. We're gonna have dynamic tight ends. You get what I'm like. This is what he does.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
I mean, keep plucking away at, you know, the BYU coaching staff and get their specialists and keep bringing them over here because, I mean, you know, we did lose some players to the portal as expected.
Yeah, most definitely.
The only player of substance I would say we lost was Cole Sullivan. Everybody else is pretty much that we were counting on for next season is pretty much back. I know Andrew Sprague.
Yeah, he announced he's coming back.
He announced he's coming back today. I think the only other person we really, really waiting on officially is Andrew Marsh. Other than that, it seems like everybody's in the fold.
What you think Marsh is going to do?
I think he's coming back. I don't see him not coming back. I just at this point, I mean, I would get it because of the whole wide receiver coach connection with Bellamy and whatnot. But if you look at this staff top to bottom, it's pretty much better at every single spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing coming out of this hire is that we were probably going to be perfectly fine if Sharon was doing his thing. If Sharon wasn't doing what he did, they were probably going to be perfectly fine with bringing Sharon back for another year. And when you start reading the stories and whatnot, sticking to the football side of things, it's a miracle they won 9 games this year.
Facts.
Yeah.
And now you bringing in a coaching staff that seems to have some integrity, seems to be adults in the room, and now it seems to actually want to be able to coach. Like Jim Harden is going to be a godsend, the online coach, because we already remember we're coming back off of back-to-back more finalists, more winning offensive lines, and then we had the last 2 years, but the offensive line showed a lot of promise this year. And then I had to remember that we still had an offensive tackle, 5-star offensive tackle that was hurt for the whole year that we're getting back. So the offensive line is only going to get better. The running backs is just, I think we're just waiting on to see what Haynes do and see what decision he makes. But even if he doesn't decide to come back, I think the 1-2 punch of Marshall and Hitter is going to be just more than enough. I think it just comes down to if we can find another receiver to go outside Marsh.
I agree.
And if finally having actual coaches for Bryce, because we didn't have a quarterback coach last year. So now that Bryce actually has somebody, 2 people working with him on a day-to-day basis, I feel that the floor, the realistic floor should be a playoff spot.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I feel like
okay.
I'm not saying they're gonna win it. I'm not saying win or anything, but I feel like
that's the floor.
I say that I feel like that is the floor.
Yeah, because they go on to 16 next year, right?
I think that's we won't know yet.
Right, I got
They
you.
gonna have a meeting. The conference commissioners like to have a meeting that day, the morning of the national championship game. That's probably when they're gonna hash it out because they have till the 23rd to finalize next year's format.
Okay.
But I think as far like even looking at the schedule's gonna be it's harder than people think because you got Indiana, but Indiana's coming here. You got Penn State, you got Oklahoma, you got Ohio State, you got to go to Oregon. So it's not an easy schedule by any shape of the way.
No Big Ten schedule.
But I think the timeline was to be a national championship contender in 2027, and I think that's still in play. And I think if that's going to be the case, then your floor should be being a playoff team next year.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that's going to depend on the quarterback.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff right there, nephew.
Indeed.
Let's roll into some of these wild card weekend predictions, man. I want to get your predictions for the CFP. Packers, Bears, Bills, Jaguars, Niners, Eagles, Chargers, Patriots, Texans, Steelers, Rams, Carolina, man. Packers, Bears, man. What's your call? Who you got? It's actually supposed to be a pretty nice day, which is going to be interesting. But
Give me the Pack.
Yep, I like the Pack there too. I just don't believe in the Bears. They got to take the ball away too much.
They're just too flawed for me, I think, when it comes to just situational football.
I agree. Jaguars, Bills at the Jags. The Jaguars, just a little note here, have won 8 games in a row, including a 2-score win over Denver at Denver. The last 6 games, Trevor Lawrence has thrown 19 touchdowns against 1 turnover. He's averaging 290 yards per game.
Yeah.
They are absolutely cooking right now. Spoiler alert, I'm picking the Jaguars. Jaguars, they the hottest team in football right now. But what say the people's champ?
Man, what's it? Trevor Lawrence has won more games in the last 2 years than anybody else.
Yeah, man. I think Cohen got him together, man.
I'm going Griselda. Let's go with the Bills.
Okay.
Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
After this year,
Yep.
if they don't get it done,
I know where you're going, dog.
I don't want to hear any more of the Josh Allen stuff.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it, because what's going to happen when they give the MVP probably to Matt Stafford and they host Drake May and they go to these numbers, I'm going to go back to last year's numbers with Lamar and Mr. Josh Allen.
Yep.
So this is it. You don't have Mahomes to worry
No
about.
Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow.
Listen, this is it. So if it doesn't happen this year, I don't want to hear any more about Josh Allen. So I'm going with the Bills. That's the point of, I'm going with them damn near every week until they run into my Texans that I pick up.
With all due respect to Josh Allen, who I think is a fantastic quarterback, if he don't get it done this year, it's not happening.
I concur. And with that being said, the Jags, they taking belt to ass on this weekend coming.
Jags are tough. Though.
Yeah, they nasty this
and they
year.
doing this without Trav.
That's what I'm telling you, dog. It's nasty this weekend. Niners, Eagles. Who you got, man?
Man, that's tough.
That is. I think that's the best game of the weekend. That's going to be a sneaky good game.
Jeez. Man, I think it's really going to come down to who's going to be able to establish some remnants of a running game.
Yes.
Which both squads lately have kind of struggled to do a little bit.
They have.
Jeez. I'm gonna lean on the experience and the depth of the champs on this one.
I concur.
Maybe it's just squeaking by.
I'm going with the Eagles too. The Niners don't generate a pass rush, and I think that's going to catch up with them. And the Eagles have 2 dominant defensive tackles. Chargers at Patriots.
Give me Drake Will.
Okay. Drake Will. No more Drake May. Drake Will. I like that. Texans at Steelers.
Sorry, Ty.
Yeah.
It's off to the retirement home.
Oh, yeah.
For Mr. Rodgers. Give me the Texans.
The Texans are going to be in Aaron Rodgers' face every time he drops back.
If it was Aaron Rodgers 4 years ago where he could still kind of get loose a little bit and still be able to make those dimes off platform, they'd have a shot.
If this was Aaron Rodgers 10 years ago, the Texans pass rush is so obscene. Man, listen, they going to be murder on any quarterback they play, and they get pressure with 4. That defense got studs everywhere. Give me the Texans. And the Rams at Carolina, man.
Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams as well. Even though, listen,
I think it's going to be closer to what people think.
Yeah. If you a gambler, take Carolina in the points. 10 that's a big spread in a NFL playoff game. No.
They must be leaning on. They're thinking maybe Bryce is jittery and maybe gives the ball away.
Yeah, I think
in scoring territory.
And I think it's 10 and a hook too. And I don't think he will turn the ball over. And then let's get the predictions on the CFP, man. Miami, Ole Miss. Who you got?
Every time I do this, they let me down, but I'm a roll with the Canes.
Oh, you rolling with the Canes, boy.
Simply because I feel that they may actually have the athletes with their pass rush that can get to Trinidad Chambers.
If they win, Michael Irvin is gonna snort the midfield, okay? He gonna snort midfield, bro. But I'm going with Ole Miss, though. And then
wait. But I just wanna state, for all the craziness that Michael Irvin has brought to the sideline this
shout out
season,
to Unc, bro.
I just want to say he is bringing some of that culture back to Miami, where the current players are looking on the sidelines and they looking and they seeing a Michael Irvin, a Ray Lewis, a Andre Johnson. They seeing all that. I think Michael has been instrumental in trying to get some of that atmosphere back around the program, and I commend him for that.
Yeah, shout out to Unc, though.
College football is better when the U is relevant.
No doubt.
Florida State's relevant. Florida.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, man. No, Unc
Great
be
point.
turned, man. And then
he's still shredded, low key though. Diddy, I'm like, to be damn near 60.
No, he's in great shape.
Man, I need to get his regimen.
Now, yeah, I was gonna say, man, I need his energy for real though. Indiana, Oregon, man. Who you got?
Dante, my man. Oh, I love you. But I just think this is Indiana's year, man.
It definitely is. I got an Indiana. So you got Indiana and Miami in the Natty. I got Indiana, Ole Miss. But I think we both got the same national champion.
Yeah.
I think it's the Hoosiers' year, man.
It's the year to let that SIG sing.
Yeah, man.
I will say, though, whoever ends up winning, I probably will be satisfied with. I think we're going to have a worthy champion this year.
Yeah.
Either you got the return of the U, you got the Cinderella story with Indiana getting capped off, and then for us and locally, we got two quarterbacks in the Final Four.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, shout out to the Michigan QBs that went to high from around here.
And that's someone who went to college in Florida and had to argue till his face turned blue for the state and tell them that we had talent in the state. And I'm just happy to see it over the past 10 years just pay off.
I love it. Yep, I love it.
I think the playoffs in general this season have been like really, really competitive games and good games. Even with the Indiana like slacking, it was a part. But it was a part of the story. You know what I mean? It was just like
loved every minute.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, this is the one uncompetitive game, but it was still entertaining because of one who it was against and in the manner of which it happened. And then all the other games around it, were.
I believe I read the statistic that the Big Ten is undefeated against the SEC over the past 4 years. We've been smacking up and the games ain't really been close. We've been smacking up the SEC. I'm just saying, man, for all of y'all, the SEC is like pro football, until we start putting BTA. But I want to talk about my Pistons, man.
Oh, yeah.
A little rage bait the SEC people a little bit.
Number one. That means the best.
Yeah, man, they was losing to
the Bulls.
To the Bulls, yeah. K was out tonight.
Two best players aren't playing.
Yeah. But I was trying to get an update.
Oh, I have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Trae Young is a Wizard.
Oh, so they did win through. That was his preferred destination.
I'm sorry. I know we was just going to get into but I was looking at the score, and then this was the first thing that
was his preferred destination.
The breaking news is that was his preferred destination. What?
Yeah, that was his preferred destination.
Stop it, bro.
Yeah, serious. Like I didn't know we were going to get into like trade talks if the time would have allowed it, but yeah, I mean that's nuts, and for a lot of reasons because it's like Washington looked like they were finally. I haven't heard who they gave up, but it looked like they were finally pooling together a young nucleus of talent.
So I guess we can just jump here real quick before we get into the Pistons, and I guess we can end there. So the Hawks are trading 4-time All-Star Trae to the Washington Wizards for C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's not a bad. So they're going to dump because Trae's anticipating that Washington to give him a new deal. That's what that is.
I can't believe that was his preferred destination.
Well, Washington's probably the one that told him they'll give him the new deal.
I mean, you know what? They actually got some young pieces.
No, they have some young pieces there. Like they've
Koulibaly and Alex Sarr, but
the Hawks won the trade.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, I mean because they've now can free up Jalen Johnson to just
because they
find his ceiling.
Yeah, their defensive rating and their net rating is higher with Trae Young off the floor.
So with that trade, and the Atlanta Hawks have like the first 2 picks of last year's draft, right? Or the 2024 draft, right?
And by the way, the Pistons won 108-93.
Love that.
Yep. Man, let's talk about the Pistons though.
Damn
right.
I
mean, that's cool, but Trae Young going to Washington, I don't have much to say about that.
So what was that? That puts it at what, 28-9?
Yep, 28-9. Crazy.
11 wins from fulfilling the 40-20 rule.
Yep, the 40-20 rule. If you hit 40 wins before you hit 20 losses, Phil Jackson famously said you are a true championship contender. So we are on our way to doing such. I saw a crazy stat, man. When at least one Piston misses a game, a starter, one Piston starter misses a game, we are 25-2, now 26-2, because Cade missed tonight. Our depth is different. It's otherworldly. And, I dubbed us the OKC of the East because the depth is like that now. We got a lot of players. Like every time somebody is injured, the person that fills in for them just plays excellent. I mean, there's no drop off with everybody that we have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at this point, I'm confused. I'm confused about who I want to see on the floor and who should get minutes and who should be benched. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, because on the one hand, I'm like, man, I don't want to go multiple games without seeing Dennis Jenkins because he's playing great. But then when Marcus Sasser played, he played great. He scored like 14 straight points. So I'm like, I want to see more Marcus Sasser, but I don't want Dennis. You know what I'm saying? So I'm confused.
I got you.
Paul Reed too. I'm like, Paul Reed need more minutes because every time he plays great. But then when Tobias comes back, he's playing good. And man, listen. Shout out to the organization.
So looking at the box score, Isaiah Stewart finished with 31 points on 14 for 17 shooting. Dennis Jenkins had 28 minutes off the bench. He only shot 1 for 8, but he had 15 assists.
Wow.
And then outside of that, it's just team doing team things.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna keep it simple for everybody. JB, keep doing your thing, baby.
Man,
until further notice.
Shout out, man.
I will be doing very little critiquing, dog. It's gonna be just co-signing until further notice.
Let me ask you a question, man. Speaking of critiquing, because I heard somebody talking about this. Because Cade is at this point an MVP candidate without a doubt. That's why I call this the OKC East, because we OKC East, MVP point guard included. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think Cade could get better at if you had to critique his game? And then we'll close on that. Where do you feel he could improve? Because he brings so much to the floor. I mean, he's so excellent in so many areas. But if you had an opportunity to just say, okay, let's tweak this or tweak that?
This is going to sound like a cop-out, but I think that Cade Cunningham is at the point in his career where he just has to work on his politics.
Yeah, I mean, so like
I just think his basketball, and the reason why I say that is because I think his basketball game, the type of player that he is and who he is, it's just going to get progressively better.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like his work and his whatever equity he's putting in, whatever facet of his game, is going to bear fruit.
Yeah,
the longer he stays on the court healthy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
I concur with
like,
that. Actually.
Like, whereas, like, say, like a Paul Reed, when I see Paul Reed shoot threes, it's like, okay, he needs to fix that 3-point form.
Yeah.
But everything else Paul Reed does to me is like, I wish he just did more of that.
Yeah,
you get what I'm. Whereas with Cade, it's like the form's there with the shot.
Mm-hmm.
The physique and the physicality is coming, and he's just going to get stronger.
Yeah, no, because he's not even in his prime.
If there's one thing, I would say would probably be turnovers.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
The turnovers, and again, I think a lot of that is upstairs.
Yep.
And
but even that he's getting, he's improved with that. I mean, but you're right. Yeah, like I would like to see him value the basketball a little bit more. That would be the one thing that I would say, because every once in a while he'll have a high turnover game, but even that has improved exponentially. Like we seeing less and less of the turnover problem.
And as we get into more higher stakes games, and I would just like to see Cade not be so adversarial with the officials, so to speak, because it doesn't work out for him.
Yeah,
like the refs don't really F with Cade, if you notice. Like and so it's like,
that's kind of our culture, though.
Yeah, but we're gonna kind of have to start leveraging
the
that.
whole squad is even JB is.
Yeah, we like, nasty.
We all like everybody is confrontational with everybody. Like
we nasty. But even back in the day when we was the whole bad boy things, he was player union president. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
There's a political, like I don't want us getting Earl Strom.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, real talk.
In the playoffs. And I think Cade is reaching that status where he's approaching face of the league, one of the faces of the league status, especially when you're having this conversation where they're talking American-born stars versus European-born stars. Cade is getting on that stage.
Yeah, because I think I brought that up before. I don't think we have any European players in our rotation, which that seems to me that seems like an outlier in the league.
Think about it.
Yeah, I don't think we have any European players in our rotation, like any foreign players, period. I think they're all American. What you got, nephew?
I just got one question for y'all before we close out.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're about a calendar year in since it has started to click for the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting here, January 7th, 2026, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in the Pistons winning the NBA championship?
When you win?
This year?
This year.
I got to tell you, man, let me answer first. Why? Because the people's champ is pondering. And I'm cynical by nature, but I'm starting to believe. I think our depth, because obviously the team that you think about matching up with in the NBA Finals is OKC, because they seem like the odds-on favorite to make it out of the West. And I'm starting to feel more and more like we match up well with them. We a little green, so I can't say 10, right? But I would say a solid 8 here in the here and now. But we still young. The experience tells me that you got to make a couple of deep runs first.
Yeah.
But we could catch lightning in a bottle. I think we the best team in the East. Something tells me we could make it out of the East. Health is obviously going to be a major concern. Like while I think we do a good job of guys filling in, I think we're going to need our core pieces to be at 100% health for the stretch run and for the main run. I'd say a solid 8, man. We'll say the people's champ.
As presently constructed, 6.
Okay.
If we make a move that makes sense and fits,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, there's how often you make that Rasheed trade,
Right.
you know, or the Clyde Drexler trade, and you know, going from Portland to Houston.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Right.
We make that trade, then I'm a 9 because I feel the ancillary pieces are there. I just think, honestly, before we get to OKC, the Boston Celtics concern me highly.
Oh yeah, they don't. Yeah,
they concern me.
Any team in the East we beating in the 7
I hear you, but they concern because the thing about it is we haven't done it
right.
And if that Boston team, if we have to face that at the roster that we have constructed now, and that Boston team that's playing now that we're only 2 games in front of, I think 3 now with the win tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and they show up with Jason Tatum able to do anything, they could be a problem. They concern me.
I ain't worried about Boston.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's cool.
I ain't worried about Boston.
mean, that's cool.
But if they had a 100% healthy
like,
Jason Tatum, then we'll be talking about something. Because I agree with you. They have championship pedigree.
Because Derek White is a guy in a playoff series that can score 40 on the night you don't expect it. And that's be a game you lose that you can't afford to lose. And then, you know, now you got a team that's going to shoot 43s in the first half and make us play a game we don't want to play and can't play without shooters. They concern me. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I listen. I get you.
They concern
me. I think that we would be favored in a 7-game series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. Okay.
You know, but you're right. I mean, you know, they wouldn't be a cakewalk. And you're right. They do have championship pedigree. I just think that right now, at 100% health, if they had Jason Tatum, definitely. I would think that they would definitely be favored if he was 100% healthy. I just think they so heavily dependent on Jaylen Brown to score 30, 35 points. And
he don't seem to have a problem with it.
No, but they're not playing us, you know, 7 games. And we have great perimeter defenders. We got a lot of bodies to throw at him. That's not going down in a series against us. But Jaylen Brown is tough. Don't get me wrong.
I'll say he seems to be pretty adept. Give me a lot of shots. I'll take them.
Jaylen Brown is tough, but you know, I like.
But us. I love where we're at. Don't get me wrong.
I like us against him. But you know, like. You know, Boston is really the team that would concern me more than the Knicks. I think we a bad matchup for the Knicks.
Yeah, I agree with you there 100%.
So the Knicks beat the Clippers tonight, and Boston lost to the Nuggets. So we are currently 4.5 games.
4.5? Okay.
On both of those.
And also another thing, since you brought up Boston, because I watched them play the Bulls the other night, and Jaylen Brown was tired. But he did drop 50 on the Clippers the other night. Yeah. So, but I think he's going to get worn down too.
That's very possible
by the playoffs because they are so heavily dependent. Yeah, they heavily dependent on him. But that's, you know, that's fair. That's a fair observation. But we gonna see. I listen, man. I think the Pistons.
Get me wrong. Listen, a Piston championship this summer. Sign my pity on the running kind.
The city will explode. But at any rate, man, we appreciate y'all joining us, man. You know, we got so much to talk about because, you know, we ain't been here in a couple of weeks, but we'll save a little bit for the next time. We thank y'all so much for joining us. Remember to join us here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. or as close as we can get to it. As Nephew said, man, we on IG live also, as well as YouTube live, man. You can catch us on either one. And of course, anytime on demand on YouTube. That's Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast. And also we are Everybody Has One sports podcast on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. We on Twitch. We on TikTok, man. Catch us on all of those platforms. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you tell your family, make sure you tell your friends, man. We over 1,100 subscribers now, man. We shared when we went over 1,000 subscribers. That was before Christmas, man. So y'all continue to tap in with us, man. We appreciate y'all so very, very much. Make sure y'all watching all of the videos in their entirety, man. Make sure y'all give us those watches, and make sure you share the videos. Share the videos on your social media, share them on your Instagram, your timelines, and your group chats, man. When you're chopping it up with your friends, man, make sure you sharing that content, man, propagating that. Help us get the Everybody Has One podcast out there. We appreciate y'all so very, very much. We will see y'all next time. It's the Everybody Has One podcast.